October and time to get planting for the spring. At the beginning of October, the sun just reaches the ground at midday. The recent winds broke the string holding the tobacco plant up. I re-tied it and it looks much neater now. And I'm really pleased with the way the bed is looking. In this video, I'm planting some more mosses, Solomon's seal and some camissias. Moving on with my moss project, I decided to buy in some mosses. I couldn't decide which to get, so I got some sample packs of different types. They arrived in these little bags, grouped by humidity, low, mid and high. I removed the mosses from the bag and set them out in this tray. These are the mid-humidity mosses. I carefully unfolded them and gave them some rainwater to rehydrate them. I looked at the pictures to find their names. The high humidity ones were harder to identify. I'm going to start at the sunny end of the garden. Of course, there will be no sun here until March. I'm going to put the low humidity mosses here, but first of all, I've got to clear this grass. I dug out the grass with the small fork. It took some doing. Funny, grass doesn't grow when you want it to, and then when you don't want it to, it does. I collected some soil from another part of the garden, the one time when clay soil is actually in demand. Moss doesn't have roots like other plants. This is urban cushion. It likes low or mid humidity and is okay in sunny or shaded areas. This is called springy turf. It can be found in grass lawns. It can grow in different levels of humidity, but it doesn't like to be at extremes for a prolonged time. I'm hoping that the long wet winter is not a problem for it. This little square is carpet moss. It can do okay in a range of humidities if it's in the right situation. It might prefer to be on a rock or somewhere where it's free draining, but we'll see how it does here. And this is haircap. It likes sun or shade, but not very low humidity for a prolonged time. It looks like the moss I found in one of my pots on the patio. These mosses should be okay in the clay soil, but I think I really need to do some tests to check the acidity of the soil, because it seems most mosses will prefer slightly acidic. I gently pressed them in place and poured the rainwater over them. Next I'm at the shade end of the garden to plant the high humidity mosses. There are already some mosses starting to grow here, and these are the bits I put in the other week. I'm going to put the high humidity mosses in front of this fern, which is self-seeded here. Some moss growing on this wooden edging under the mahonia. This is what is left of the lily of the valley. Possibly it didn't like the clay soil. Not very successful. I'm digging over the soil. At the moment it's still quite loose and crumbly. It was difficult to know how to plant these. I separated them out and placed them on the old tile. I think they came apart too much because they were left in too much water for too long. There are the mid-humidity mosses I've also laid out. I think this is a hair cap. It likes high humidity, shade and clay. And could this be thyme? From the mid-humidity selection, this is mood moss. It was not the nicest of days, really windy, and it was really quite difficult to plant these high humidity mosses. I don't think I did a very good job. I realised that I needed a lot more moss to cover my planned areas. I cut up some pieces so I was able to spread them out, but I think I really need to get some more. I will wait a few weeks to see which can do best here, and then maybe order the same again. The next day I thought that the wind would be taking the moisture away from the plants, so I decided to cover them with clear plastic or cling film. And then after the windy weather, it turned warm and dry, so I was out in the evening spraying with a bottle of fresh rainwater to keep them moist. Next, I'm planting Solomon Seal. I tried this last year, but it was eaten by slugs, so I'm going to give it one more try. This time I'm going to start them in pots. This is the biggest pot I could find. It's what the fatsia came in. I found a few sticks that I'm going to put in the pot to try and help with aeration and drainage. So this time I decided to buy 2, so I've got 2 chances of them surviving. So I found out that the white bit is where it will grow from, so I'm going to put that in the pot pointing upwards. And I'm gently filling in with some compost. I put the pot on a tile underneath the fatsia, and that's where it will stay for the winter. The second one was a lot longer, so I decided to try it in a tall, thin pot. I've got 2 types of camassia to plant here. First of all, I'm going to tidy up the edge of the meadow grass and a quick general turnover of the soil. This is what is left of one of the hostas after I removed the bottle to see if it could survive without the protection. I'm going to loosen the soil around it so that I can put a new plastic bottle over it. These are the bulbs, Silk Rover at the top of the picture and the larger bulbs, sacajawea at the bottom. I dug a deep hole to the left of this hosta and put some compost in the bottom and then placed the bulbs on top. In a tray, I mixed some of my clay soil with some compost and filled in on top of the bulbs. Both of these varieties will grow up to 50 centimetres tall. They're supposed to like damp clay soil, so they should do well here. Sacajawea has variegated leaves, but Silk Rover just has normal green leaves. The flowering time is May and June, so at that time of year, this part of the garden should be getting a little bit of sun. I put some lumpy clay soil on the top to deter cats and other animals. And I added some markers just so that I know where they are. While I had the shears out, I did a quick tidy up at the edge of the meadow grass.